Today on the channel, like a young Biff Byford of Saxon, we got the power and we got the glory with Hercules, Paul Roma, Zombie Sailor, Heels and Faces.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Heels and Faces unboxing and review. And today on the channel, from Series 3, we got Power and Glory, Hercules and Paul Roma. But for all your Heels and Faces needs, heelsandfaces.com. But for everything else wrestling related, go over to Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Gotta get a deal out there. And of course, we'll do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. We got some fun comparisons at the end of the video. Finally completing the boyhood dream, you might say. But we're going to dive in. We're going to start in order. We're going to start with the power. We're going to start with the mighty Hercules here. And Hercules, an interesting character. My introduction to Hercules was his, of course, LJN figure way back in my childhood. And whenever I think of Hercules, I think of a fateful summer day where I left Hercules in the back seat of my dad's car, and he about melted in the back seat. And he was never the same. He always had a little stickiness to him. Drove me absolutely wild as a little kid. What also has driven me wild ever since that point is we've never had Hercules figures since. We never got him in the Hasbro days, would have been good in that. Jakks Class Superstars, of course, Mattel Elite Scale. No Hercules figures. What the heck are we doing out there? And Hercules, a staple of the 80s. Not quite a warrior, Macho Man Hogan, but a guy that everybody seemed to know. And a guy that was on his down slope of his career. He needed something fresh. Along came Paul Roma, Manager Slick, the Power and the Glory. One of my favorite tag teams of the time. It almost was like a modern day New Age Outlaws, or olden days New Age Outlaws back in the day. We had two performers people knew that really just weren't clicking on their own. You put them together and magic happened. And they had an amazing finisher that FTR uses to this day. So a lot of fun with Power and Glory back in the day. I thought they really hit their stride. It was unfortunate they just kind of fizzled out. But that's the way show business goes, I guess. We got old Hercules looking good. Got the big chain there on the package. No chain with the figure. What the heck are we doing here? Give me a chain for Hercules. Heels and Faces, Zombie Sailor. Ron Rudat up there at the top. Old Leatherneck himself, of course. Got the Hercules autograph looking good. On the back, we got the cross-sell. We'll dive into that here in a second. We got a file card, G.I. Joe style down there. We got Zombie Sailor points, UPCs, all kinds of stuff going on. Nick Gage, Bruiser Brody, Raven, Kevin Sullivan, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant ×2, Slick, Paul Roma, Hercules Hernandez, One Man Gang, Jack Tunney, Mike Booger Shaw, Matt Cardona, Nick Gage. I should have that tomorrow in the mail. But I'd say Hercules Hernandez. He was always just Herc to me, Hercules, but of course his LJN figure, Hercules Hernandez, in the old gladiator suit or whatever you want to call it back then. 6'1". He's one of those guys that I imagine being a lot taller. Not the case. 275 pounds from Tampa, Florida, with a body as hard as the marble statues in Greek temples. Oh my. The mighty Hercules possesses unfathomable power. I know I can't fathom it, that's for sure. Hernandez's alliance with Paul Roma has allowed him to bulldoze through opponents with ease. And the Steel Jungle is his sanctuary. Of course it is. Of course it is. And we got old Hercules Hernandez. Very cool. You got the artist drawing on the back as well from Ron Rudat. But looking nice. He's got the Warrior 2, Hulk Hogan 1 Hasbro, depending how you classify it. Has that position going on there. We're going to pull him out of the package. We're truly going to see what all the Hercules fuss is all about. And let me tell you, see you later, goodbye. There's fuss with Hercules, but only for those 18 and up. Mark Summers, you know the drill. 17 and below, no fuss. You can't even touch this. Too dangerous for you. See you later, goodbye. Got the almighty Hercules out of the package here. What is going on? We got a little blue from the card on there. And very interesting. It's, okay, I thought it was tape, but no, he's just got very, very glossy skin tone on him. Very wild, glossy skin tone on the chest here. Or is it tape? I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out for the life of me. Is he taped up? It's like glossy and it looks like it's a plastic. Then it kind of looks like tape. I think it's straight up the figure. I think it is. Very wild, glossy skin tone on this one for old Herc. Herc got a little bit of a muscle shirt going on as well. Shirt, I guess, is removable. I don't know how well it'll go back on if you try to remove it, though. I will say that. Does say Herc on the shirt, of course. Power and Glory is what it normally said. They also had some cool glasses back in the day. Couldn't do that, apparently, I'm guessing, because of legalities with the Power and Glory. So Herc works. It's in that kind of artistic style. That works there for me. I don't know if I could tell you this is Hercules Hernandez from the face on this one. It looks close. If somebody said, hey, here's a Hercules figure, I can see it. I'm looking at it. Oh, yeah, it's Hercules. Okay. But by its own, on its own, I don't know if I could guess that one to be him. Almost looks like a young Matt Bourne. Almost like a young Big Josh. Oh, doing that log roll all over the place. Kind of has that feel to him right there. I just can't get over how glossy the skin tone is around the chest. I guess the whole body for the most part, but specifically the chest. Very glossy skin tone. Beautiful teeth on him. Sure, why not? Britt Baker would love to just dive into this mouth, I'm sure. I got a little bit of a mullet going on as well. Got a nice beard there for Herc. Did mention the hands on this one. Of course, it's in the gorilla press slam position here. He's ready to throw people around. He's ready to do whatever he needs to. Of course, you do get articulation on those hands side to side, head side to side, waist side to side, and that's it for articulation, of course. Black trunks that do say Herc on the back, black knee pads, white and red on the boots. Just a good Hercules Hernandez figure. It's old Herc. I wish he had the chain, wish he had those cool sunglasses, but beggars can't be choosers at this point. Would love to see an elite style figure of him. We do know Zombie Sailor's doing that with Jeff Jarrett, for instance, King Kong Bundy, Brian Pillman. Could we finally get a Hercules, maybe a Dino Bravo from a while back? Would love to see that happen. We'll see what ends up happening in the future. Does he fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand? Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. What do you know? Fits on the stand there. The almighty Hercules, ready to get it done, ready to swing that chain around. Oh, never forget. And we'll never forget about that old whippersnapper, Paul Roma, possibly the greatest four horsemen of all time. Can we get a Jumpin' Jim Powers? Can we get Jim Powers, or was it Jungle Jim Powers? Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Gets confusing with all these jumpers out there. But Paul Roma, not a jumper here, which I'm happy to see. But Paul Roma, kind of a jobber with a name back in the 80s, formed up with Power and Glory, and that rocket ship took off and took him to WCW. He joined the Horsemen, and the rest was history. Something like that. But I do like Paul Roma. Looks very good here. Very similar to Tom Zink for me. I always kind of think of those guys kind of similar career paths in different places is what it is. But Power and Glory, a favorite tag team, as I have mentioned. And, of course, you got the Glory right here with old Paul Roma. Heels and faces, same packaging. No autograph on this one. I did see Zombie Sailor say that was a miss by them. They forgot the Paul Roma autograph on the front. Have to get it yourself. You can't get Hercules's, but you can get Paul Roma's. Look for him out there in New York or something like that. Who knows? On the back, you got the artwork by Ron Rudat. You got the cross-sell, UPC, Zombie Sailor points, file card. You know I'm here for that. Let's see what it says about old Paul Roma here. Height 5'11", 235 pounds. From Kensington, New York, some of the most beautiful country in the United States, I would have to imagine. Never been there, never heard of it, but it sounds great. Anybody ever been to Kensington? Let me know. A marvel of sculpted muscle, the ever-so-pretty Paul Roma leaves others reveling in his glory. Roma's savviness and agility complement the power of his tag team partner, Hercules Hernandez. Willing to secure the win by any means necessary, he'll do whatever it takes, except he won't do that. We saw him on like Fox News and CNN during the McMahon trial. There's certain things Paul Roma said he wouldn't do, as we do know. I guess feel free to look up those interviews if you want to. But Paul Roma will sign for an action figure, as we can see right here. We got the power, we got the glory, we got the see you later. There it is. And now we got old Paul Roma looking only like a Paul Roma could look if he was doing a little bushwhacker. Whoa, yeah, he was doing a little bit of that going on. Two Fists of Fury, white wrist tape on him. Soft good shirt once again. This time says Roma right in the middle. Roma potatoes, Roma Italian. Who knows what he's up to? He is Paul Roma. Looking good. Black pants, or black tights, I should say. How about go back one more time? Third time's charm. Black trunks on Paul Roma. It does say Roma on the back. Black knee pads. You got the same boots to match Hercules in the white and red attack. Looking good. Articulation. Arms go around. Bushwhacker style. Head back and forth. Waist back and forth. That's it as far as articulation does go. But a good playability-wise figure. If you were a kid playing with this one, the old Hasbro days, this would be a great figure to play with. You can do big clotheslines, suplexes, bulldogs, DDTs, punches. stuff off the top rope. There's a lot of stuff you could do. A very nice looking figure playability-wise is old Paul Roma right here. And the head sculpt looks like Paul Roma, just like Hercules. Don't know if I could tell you if somebody just handed it to me, but I know Paul Roma enough. Somebody handed me this. You know what? This does look like Paul Roma. So I do like the looks of this one a whole lot. The soft goods, very, very nice on these. Usually we don't get soft goods on our retro style figures, especially the Hasbro scale ones, but looks very nice for what this one is, I will say. Both looking very good. And does he fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand? Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. He fits as well. So the Power and the Glory ride once more. Thought their ride was done. Nuh-uh. It's still rolling hard. And of course, brings me back to my childhood. I absolutely love Power and Glory, as I did say. And we all remember back in the day, Survivor Series team. Slick, of course, Slick, one of the all-time greats. And we just unboxed Zombie Sailor Slick on the channel recently. He was, of course, their manager. But Slick had a heck of a team at that 1 year in Survivor Series. Was it 90, 91, 91, I think it was? He had Power and Glory, and of course he had Rick Martel and the Warlord. One of my favorite deep-cut Survivor Series teams of all time. And as a little kid playing with my Hasbros, I used Rick Martel and the Warlord as my Power and Glory. I didn't call them Power and Glory, but I used their same move set, and I kind of pretended they were Power and Glory, and they were some big-time tag team champs in my Fig Fed. So to see these guys all together with their manager Slick is pretty cool. All these so many decades later, really, at this point. Very, very nice that I got this Survivor Series team here. But a lot of battles with Warlord and Rick Martel, kind of representing Power and Glory back in my childhood Fig Fed. So very cool to bring these guys all together here today at the channel. So two must-have, very cool Zombie Sailor figures. A little shiny, I will say, but that's my only complaint with these figures, really, at the end of the day. Would love to see them in the 6-inch scale if they ever get to those. Would be very cool to have those in the Mattel-type style. So we'll see what happens in the future right there. But Power and Glory, 2 thumbs up for me. But what about you picking up Power and Glory? Did you pre-order these? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this channel, as you guys do know. Tons of content every single day from both YouTube channels. Check out the Patreon link in the description down below. ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Power, Glory, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.